Today I'll be making the traditional European cabbage rolls. So let's get started. And for this I'm using a medium bowl, a 5 liters pot, some extra virgin olive oil, a grater, a cutting board, a knife, 3 spring onions, a medium cabbage, a frying pan, a spatula, 400 grams of diced tomatoes, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of salt, 4 bay leaves, just a good pinch of thyme, about half a teaspoon of black pepper, 2 tablespoons of paprika, and 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 300 grams of bacon bones, 300 grams of smoked ribs, a carrot, just half a capsicum, 4 medium onions, 500 grams of minced meat, 200 grams of bacon, 20 grams of parsley, 20 grams of dill, and 300 grams of medium rice. The first thing I'm doing is prepare the cabbage. So I turn the cabbage upside down and I'll cut off the core. So just discard this into the pot. Now put just about halfway water and give it a boil for a few minutes for the leaves to soften up. So on high heat, I'll let it boil for a few minutes, then I'm going to show you the next step. In the meantime, I'll peel and cut my onions in very little cubes. Now I'm going to put it in the fryer. I reduce the heat a little bit. I'm opening the leaves and let it boil for a few more minutes to soften up. After a few more minutes of boiling, I take the leaves out. Now I'm going to turn the cabbage upside down and put it to boil for another 2 minutes. I'll add around 100 ml of olive oil to the onion and put it to fry to bring this beautiful golden color. So just medium heat and fry it for a few minutes. I stir in the onion now and then, and at the same time I keep an eye on the cabbage. The leaves that are already loose and soft, I take it out. Now I'm going to turn the cabbage again and see how many leaves get loose. So after the leaves get loose, they still need to stay about a minute in the hot water to soften up. The onion is ready, so I put the heat off and take it to the table. I let it cool for a few minutes before I add it to the bowl. I'm done with the cabbage. It's very hot, so I let it cool, and in the meantime I'm making the filling. To the bowl I add the onion and I put a lot of oil because I have beef, so I don't really have a lot of fat. To it I add the meat, the rice. To the bowl I'll add all the spices except the bay leaves and the sugar. I need this for later. So the salt goes in, the thyme, the pepper, paprika, and the tomato paste. I'll cut the onion very small rings. I'll add it to the bowl. I'll do the same with the parsley and dill. I'll cut them very fine. Just want to make sure that it's really fine. Into the bowl. I cut the capsicum in little cubes, and this already smells amazing. Into the bowl. I'll peel the carrot. Now I'm going to grate the carrot. In it goes. I'll cut the bacon in little cubes. But before I do that, I'll cut all this pork skin off. Just discard that. So just in little cubes. And this goes into the bowl as well. Now I'm going to give it a good mix, and if I think the material is a little bit too dry, I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil. And make sure that I mix very well, all the flavors very well combined. It's a little bit too dry, so I'll add another 50 ml of oil and give it a good mix. So I gave it a good mix again, and that's pretty much done. The next step is to prepare the leaves. So I'm going to cut off the middle, which is a little bit more rough, you can't really work with it. I'm going to put it aside, I'll need it a little bit later. If a leaf is quite big like this one, I'll cut it in 3. I'm going to do the same with the rest. With the smaller leaves, I'll cut them just in 2. After I'm done with my leaves, I wash and got ready the saucepan again. And the smallest part of the cabbage that is left, plus the middle pieces, I'm going to cut them very fine and put them at the bottom and on the top of the saucepan. Now I'm going to put half of this cabbage at the bottom of the saucepan, and I'll keep the other half for the top. Now I'm going to cut the meat in smaller pieces. Put them back to the plate. I'll do the same thing to the ribs. So I'm going to cut them one by one. I'll put them in a dish and get them ready for the use. At the middle of the saucepan, I like to put a few pieces of meat. And let's start rolling. There are a few different types of how people roll their cabbage rolls. I like to keep the simple way, so I put about a tablespoon of filling. Press it down to make sure it's all together. Just simply roll it, sort of tight, all the way to the end. Just push in the ends. Do the same the other side. All the edges pushed in very well. Beautiful. You can make them bigger, you can make them smaller, it's really your choice. So I'm going to start putting them at the bottom of the saucepan. So I'll do the same with the others. While I'm making them, I keep an eye that all the cabbage rolls are in the same size. Another way of doing it, I roll it a little bit, put one side in, roll it all the way, just push the edges in on the other side. But my favorite way is the first way I showed you, because all you have to do is just roll and push the edges on both sides. Beautiful. After the first layer is done, I like to put here and there some pork ribs. This is going to give a very nice flavor to the cabbage rolls. Now I'm going to go with the second layer. After my second layer is done, I'm going to take more pieces of meat and fit in as much as possible. Pretty much it. I'm going to put the ribs here and there. I'll do the same with the third layer. I finished my third layer. My leaves are gone. Just a little bit of filling left. I'm going to discard that. In the middle, I'm going to put the rest of the meat. For the final touch, I put the bay leaves. The other half of the cabbage. I sort of spread it equally everywhere. With the crushed tomatoes, I spread them equally everywhere as well. Now I'm going to sprinkle the brown sugar everywhere. And that's going to keep them sweet and yummy. Beautiful. Now I'm going to slowly add the water to almost cover the cabbage rolls. I shake it a little bit to make sure the water goes everywhere. So 600 ml of water was enough. Now I'm going to put them to boil. So I'm going to put a lid on, medium to high. To bring it to a boil, I'll boil it for about 2 minutes. Then I'll reduce the heat and let it simmer for another 20 minutes. They can also be put in the oven at 160 degrees Celsius for about 2 hours. After about 2 minutes of boiling, I reduce the heat to medium and let it simmer for 20 more minutes. 20 minutes passed, so now I'm going to put the heat off. Now I'm going to drain all the liquid out. So I'll make sure that I put gloves. I put the lid just about half a centimeter behind and very careful. I'm going to drain the liquid. I don't need this liquid, so I'm just going to discard it. Beautiful. It can be served with fresh polenta, with sour cream. You can also serve it with your favorite bread and sour cream. It's going to give you 2 of these big plates, so it's going to be a beautiful addition to any Christmas dinner or just any occasion. This is a great recipe and just 30 minutes of work. Don't forget to subscribe for more of these great recipes. For now, thank you for watching. See you some other times. Bye!